How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. And here at 2A News Now, you get your Second Amendment news straightforward and to the point with no BS added in. Real quick, if you guys can do me a favor, after you watch the video, if you enjoyed the video, or if I gave you some information you didn't know, or if you want to help the channel out and help it grow, all you have to do is just take a few seconds of your time and like, share, and subscribe and hit those post notifications. I really would appreciate it. Florida police are confiscating ammunition from law-abiding citizens. Last April Fool's Day, a 61-year-old Miami man had a defensive gun usage in Florida City, Florida. Florida City was once considered the most dangerous city in the Sunshine State. The man was at a fast food restaurant when he was accosted by an individual who he now believes was emotionally disturbed. The man was filling his water bottle at a soda machine when someone from behind him said, "I'm from prison, don't touch my food or I'll kill you." He quickly left the restaurant. The disturbed man followed the victim outside, screaming he was about to kill him for touching his food. He said the man was reaching into his pockets and being aggressive, saying how he was going to kill him, and continued reaching into his pockets. He then ripped off his t-shirt and started running toward him very aggressively. He said he pulled out his 9mm pistol and told him to stop. The victim kept walking backwards, telling the suspect to stay back. At one point, he tripped over some rocks, fell back on his backside, and had a negligent discharge. Fortunately, the round went into the ground, striking no one. The victim got up and continued backing away from the man. He said the man kept being aggressive, telling the man to go ahead and shoot him as he continued walking away. He said at least an eighth of a mile. He said the man followed him the whole way and continued screaming at him to shoot him. Florida City police officers finally arrived at the scene. After 2 hours of questioning, they confiscated the victim's Taurus G2C and 2 loaded magazines and then let him go. They took the disturbed man to a local mental health facility where he was admitted for a 72-hour psychiatric hold, which in Florida is called the Baker Act. The incident occurred 3 months before Florida's unlicensed concealed carry law took effect. But the victim had a valid CCW. It took 68 days for the FCPD's investigation to conclude. The victim was not charged in any crime. When he went to the police department to retrieve his property, the ammunition was gone. The department's property clerk, Christian Boodoo, told him the ammunition had been confiscated. He said they don't return ammunition. He said the department will probably use it for training. One expert said this policy is patently illegal. He said, to be clear, this is theft, and it's also a preemption violation, according to Jacksonville attorney Eric Friday, who is a firearms law Second Amendment rights specialist and general counsel for Florida Carry Incorporated. Florida's powerful preemption statute declares that only the state legislature can regulate firearms, and any public official that violates the law can be removed from office and face a $5,000 fine, which they must pay personally. Eric Friday also said law enforcement unlawfully confiscating firearms, ammunition, and personal property is an awful issue statewide. He said he just filed a suit against the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office over a similar issue last week. Friday explained that Florida law allowed sheriffs to sell confiscated arms and ammunition to FFLs and then deposit the money into their budget. However, at some point, the legislature realized that created an improper incentive for law enforcement. Now when sheriffs sell firearms or ammunition to a gun dealer, the money must be deposited into the state education fund every time a sheriff destroys a useful weapon. Instead of selling it to an FFL, they're taking money out of the education fund and from the children of Florida. Florida Carry sent a letter to Florida City Police Chief Pedro Taylor, warning him of the possibility of litigation, the apparent preemption violation, and that his department has a policy of not returning ammunition that has been taken by licensed law-abiding citizens. In an email sent Tuesday, Florida City Police Department Internal Affairs Detective Julian Hoyt said, the Florida City Police Department has reviewed and is immediately correcting this matter regarding confiscation of ammunition. All corrections have been made. That ammunition is returned to licensed, law-abiding citizens. Detective Hoyt's email chain contained another email, which Chief Taylor sent to the property clerk, It said, "Please see me," the chief told the clerk. In an interview on Wednesday, Chief Taylor wasn't exactly sure how long his ammunition confiscation policy had been in effect. And he's the chief of police. He said, "I would say, I'm not even sure. It's been a while, maybe since 2012 to 2013. I'm not sure." He said it was something that was just brought to his attention. He said he would have to look into it further. As to the allegations his officers are committing theft, Chief Taylor said he has to talk to his attorney. He said, "We're not stealing ammo. We have a 90-day policy. Once they don't claim it, it's destroyed." But the victim in this story said that's a lot of crap. He tried to reclaim his ammunition from the city well within the chief's 90-day window. He said it was defensive ammo and it isn't cheap. He said he wanted it back and they wouldn't give it to him. I know a police department has a lot of policies and procedures, and I'm sure a police chief might not know every one of them. But for him to say he would have to look into it, but this could have started about 10 years ago, around 2012 or 2013, that's absolutely ridiculous. And if that's the case, how many thousands or tens of thousands of rounds of ammunition have they confiscated over that time? And do they have paperwork that shows how much ammunition was confiscated? And was it actually destroyed? Or did the police department use it for training? Or later on, does it just walk out the door or become property of police employees? Will we ever find out? My guess is we won't. I would really like to hear your thoughts about today's video in the comments section down below. And as I mentioned at the starting of the video, if you guys could please do me a favor and help the channel out and help it grow by liking, sharing, and subscribing and hitting those post notifications. And I invite you back to watch my next video.